All right, what's up, guys? How we doing? I just saw Joker, Folie, Deux, and this movie is once again directed by Todd Phillips, written by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver, and this movie is once again starring Joaquin Phoenix, a fresh new face with Lady Gaga and Brendan Gleeson. And this movie is the sequel to 2019's Joker, which I think is absolutely amazing. I think it's excellent. One of my easily probably top 50 movies of all time. And after I saw the first one, I always said and thought that there doesn't need to be a sequel to this movie. You know, this isn't your typical Joker story. It's a little bit different. You know, it has more of a message and it says everything that it needs to say. And when they announced the second one, I was like, okay, like I know the first one made over $1 billion, so Warner Brothers isn't gonna not make another one, which is unfortunate in a lot of ways. We'll get into that later because I was right, man. There did not need to be a sequel to the first Joker. But even with all that being said, I mean, I was still pretty excited about it in some way. You know, they announced it as a musical and the internet went fucking crazy. And I was like, okay, like, I like musicals, but it just seems weird. It seems like a weird and bold choice, which, you know, isn't always a bad thing. And then I saw the first trailer and that first trailer is pretty fucking good, I'm not gonna lie, and I was pretty excited. But I saw more trailers, and I try to avoid those all the time, but sometimes you just can't. And my excitement levels just kind of kept dwindling and kept going down. And then early reviews came out, which I always try to avoid, but I'm scrolling through Twitter and it's not good. But I still try to keep an open mind, you know, not only just because of how much I love the first movie, but also because I think that's how you should go into every movie. You know, I don't think reviews or anything you read here should ever affect any of your opinions. So we have Arthur Fleck institutionalized at Arkham Asylum, awaiting his trial for all the crimes that he did, all the murders that he did in the first movie. And, you know, he's in prison, he's still struggling with his dual identity, and he stumbles upon Lee, Harley Quinn. And he finds true love, and he finds this music spark inside of him. Now, starting off with the positives for this movie, it's obviously going to be Joaquin Phoenix. You know, he is incredible. He once again completely embodies the character, you know, not only with his acting of completely nailing the mentally ill, lonely, sad psychopath that we all know from the first one. I mean, this guy is just committed. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Not only with his acting, but for both movies, he's had to lose a shit ton of weight and pretty much looks malnourished. You know, there's scenes where he's walking through a hallway and his bones are sticking out, like he has no body fat, and that without a doubt takes a toll on your body. And that just shows how much of a method actor that, you know, he's always been that, but he just continues to show it, and you'll just never be able to deny that. And this movie does once again do a really good job at just making you feel empathy for Arthur and everything that he's been through in his life. You know, he clearly has a lot of trauma, being abused, he's repressed it all, he's clearly mentally ill, he's sad, he's lonely, he's just getting shit on all the fucking time. Prison guards are beating him up in this one and all that stuff, and you really just feel bad for the guy, and you understand why someone like that, everything that he's been through, finally wants to, you know, he's done with it all. He finally wants to be the one being the bully and taking a stand for himself and giving all that shit back. And you really just understand that. But they do that in the first one too, and they do it way better. And I also didn't really mind Joaquin as a singer, you know. I'll get into the musical aspects and all that later because those are all mixed and negative. But just Joaquin and what he does as a singer in this and as he performs and what he's able to do, I didn't mind it. And probably the only last real positive that I have for this movie is the way it was filmed. You know, the look of Gotham City, Arkham Asylum, inside the prison, you know, the color grading that they have in this movie with all the dark blue and grayish overtones, you know, I think that really adds to the vibe, you know, the atmosphere of it being sad and very, very depressing. And you know it, that one shot, the best shot in the movie, unfortunately was in the trailer, but Lee, you know, writes a little smiley face with her red lipstick, and Arthur slowly moves, you know, his face to blend in with it and smiles, and it blends in perfectly. That is an absolutely amazingly creative shot, but I wish that wasn't in the trailer, and I wish I saw it for the first time in the movie. Now on to the mixed aspects of this movie. I mean, there were more positives, I would say, but they fall under mixed because everything else that I'm going to say that's positive about this movie is already what's positive about the first movie and already what makes the first movie great. You know, they don't have anything new to say in this movie. It's all just the same. the message and the themes of loneliness and mental illness and having trauma from your childhood and kind of stuffing it away, never fully dealing with it, and what that can do to a person grown up as an adult, and how that can turn you into a villain, someone like Joker with being mistreated and bullied your whole life. All of that is here once again. So now what would be a positive if it wasn't done in the first movie and done way better? So now it's a mixed aspect, is the transformation of Arthur Fleck becoming the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's performance, and so he puts on the makeup and he's embodying that Joker villain that we all know and love. I mean, Joker is without a doubt top 2 best villains of all time in any movie, any comic book, anything. And that's what we all want to see, but unfortunately in this movie, we don't really get to see it at all. Like, we don't need a whole nother movie to show us how this character, Arthur Fleck, becomes this character, the Joker, how he's had enough, he's fed up. The first one did the same exact fucking thing, and it did it so much better. Not even that. It takes probably an hour and a half for us to finally see Arthur Fleck become this character. And then we did maybe one solid scene of him in the courtroom embodied as the Joker, and that's fucking it. Now on to the negatives for this movie. I was going to put the musical numbers and all the music aspects under mixed, but the more I think about it, the choice, first of all, is just baffling. It doesn't really make any sense. There's so many numbers in this that don't really need to be in it. They're sporadic, and they just take away. It just doesn't fit the story of the Joker. It just doesn't at all. I know, he's mentally ill, and it's all meant to be fantasy and all that, but you're just watching it, and it's not like the music is bad or anything. It's just like, it just doesn't fit in with the Joker in the story. And like I said, it takes an hour and a half at least for us to get what we all came for, is see him become the Joker and be the Joker. If it wasn't a musical, we probably would have gotten way more of that instead of just him dancing around with Lee and doing all this fucking random bullshit, being in love. And, he's in the makeup for a lot of the numbers, but they're all fantasy, and I understand that, but we don't want to really see that. There's just no need for it. I don't know what he was trying to do. Ambitious, maybe, it made $1 billion the first movie. I don't know if Warner Brothers just said, yo, you have to fucking make another one. There's no choice. Or I don't know what was going on. Like, it just blows my mind that they actually decided to make this movie. And the fact that this one cost $200 million and the first one cost $55 million? Where the fuck did that $150 million go? I have no fucking idea. It's just so unbelievable. And Lady Gaga, huge negative. I did not like her character at all. There's no need for her to be in this movie. She doesn't add anything. She actually takes away from us seeing what we all want to see once again, is Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix become the Joker doing Joker shit. There's no deaths in this movie. I just realized there's no fucking kills. There's no killing in this movie whatsoever. There's one, which is also in the trailer, but that's a fantasy. That did not happen. And just walking out of the theater, I just saw this movie probably 2 hours ago, or it just ended 2 hours ago. And then when the credits rolled, I was like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought, because I've just been hearing that it's absolute trash. But now that I'm making this review and I'm thinking about it, what the fuck, dude? I already thought that there was no point to this fucking movie because it just says the same fucking shit. And the ending, oh my fucking god, the ending is fucking garbage, dude. Once again, the ending happens and just further adds to the point of, why the fuck did you make this movie? Yeah, okay, now I'm pissed. No, but it's almost as if Todd Phillips forgot that he was making a Joker movie. And the first one you're watching it, just a little skeptical just because of how different it is and it's trying to be. But Folie is, without a doubt, not a Joker movie whatsoever. And at the end of the day, it's just super disappointing, man. There are plenty of parts where I'm feeling it, I'm into it, I'm fully engaged. There's definitely hints of movie magic in here, but all those good parts are just also in the first one. It's the same shit. And I will honestly probably never watch this movie again because, why would I? Why would you? When we could just watch the first one and enjoy it so much more. And it's like Todd Phillips also has a problem with making sequels. I don't know what it is, with The Hangover to Hangover 2. The Hangover 2 is an exact copy of the first one. Nothing new to say, the exact same formula, same things happen. And it's the same with this movie. Like, I don't get it. So yeah, overall, guys, I can't recommend seeing this in theaters. I can't justify you spending your hard-earned money on this movie. I did, unfortunately. So I would skip it. Maybe wait till it's on Max. I'm sure it will be very soon. It's Warner Brothers. So maybe watch it then if you want. And it's just really hard to believe that this isn't anything less than a cash grab from Warner Brothers. And unfortunately, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. I hate to do it, but I have to. But yeah, those are just my thoughts, guys. I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. My name is Zach once again, and I will see you on the next one.